This is a piece I wrote coming to a holy well up in the heart of the limestone region of the Burren. It's a place called the Seven Streams, and it's a surprising place. It's often hard to find if you don't know where it is. There are still people who make their way up there because there's supposed to be a cure for diabetes there, and it's well known amongst the traveling people in Ireland. So I've often been with my good friend whose farm lies, in the valley below the mountains where the Seven Streams are, and there'll be traveling people who are looking for the Seven Streams, and it's incredibly difficult to find. So you have a good long conversation about how they might find it actually. And it's in a little valley on a plateau called on Slieve Glusher, or the Mountain of Grass. And it's a beautiful, clear stream that issues from beneath a limestone escarpment, follows this tiny valley for a while, and then disappears underground. And the reason it's called the Seven Streams is that below, on the cliff below, it seems to appear as seven streams, defying the laws of physics, as if it's gaining tributaries rather than becoming one stream as it goes along. So who knows what the geological formation is beneath that landscape. But it's a place of great sanctity and has been since the Neolithic. One of the experiences that I've always felt in that place is it's a place of deep rest. And it's a place to apprehend the beauty and privilege of life. The first time I ever came there, I came out of a storm, a lightning storm. We were all drenched and freezing, actually. But then the sun came out. There were rainbows over the mountain of Mullaghmore in the distance, and all of our clothes were steaming in the bright air. And I laid on top of in this kind of natural grass couch on top of the cliff, and I fell asleep. And it would be just for a few minutes. But when I came out of that nap, I felt as if I touched a bedrock of rest inside me that would do me for the rest of the year, actually. All of us have had the experience of a really good night's sleep where you wake up in the morning and you say to yourself, my God, if I slept like that every night, I'd be 10 years younger. Yeah. And that was the experience I had, actually. And ever since, every year I've gone back, I've tried to recapitulate that tiny nap, actually. And I've been successful more years than not of just dozing off for a minute or so. After my good friend Patrick takes over there and recites and tells stories, so I can relax a little bit. But this is the piece I wrote called The Seven Streams. It's an invitation to that experience, that deep, rested nourishment rising out of the ground of what is, when we stop the willful herding of people and circumstances around us. We drop into the presence and we start to bring in the harvest of presence. And out of that harvest of presence, we feel the invitation to follow this path of vulnerability. Why is it the path of vulnerability? Because you often have absolutely no idea where it's taking to you, or no idea of who you're going to become by taking that path. Come down drenched at the end of May, with the cold rain so far into your bones that nothing will warm you except your own walking. There's a species of cold in the west of Ireland that you probably wouldn't even feel in the Antarctic, actually, because it's that combination of wetness and cold and the knife-like wind that comes off of the Atlantic. And you can still feel it in April and May until things start to warm up, until the limestone starts to warm up around you. Come down drenched at the end of May with a cold rain so far into your bones that nothing will warm you except your own walking. And let the sun come out at day's end near Slieve Glusher with the rainbows doubling over Mullaghmore, and see your clothes steaming in the bright air. Be a provenance of something gathered. Be a provenance of something gathered. A summation of previous intuitions. Let your vulnerabilities walking on the cracked, sliding limestone be this time not a weakness, but a way of understanding what's about to happen. Stand above the sudden streams, letting the deep down current surface around you, then branch and branch as they do back into the mountain. And as if you are able for that flow, say the few necessary words and walk on, broadened and cleansed for having imagined.